I guess just first off, how excited are you for your first season as a Bobcat?
Super excited. Obviously, it's been a long off season, a lot of transition, a lot of teaching, a lot of integration. But I couldn't be prouder of the way our guys have handled all of those things. We've got a group that's really, really competitive and hungry to start writing this next chapter for Bobcat basketball.
What stood out, and who, if anybody, has kind of really stood out so far in practice?
Well, I think the thing that stands out the most early on is just our depth. We were able to, because of the transfer portal, get guys that had college experience yet still have their best basketball in front of them. And so I think we're going to be one of those teams that when we're clicking on all cylinders, the sum of our parts is our greatest strength. I've been really pleased with kind of the leadership of our veteran guards and Robert Ford and Eddie Turner. They've come in and hit the ground running with the way that we want to play and really become leaders on the floor, which is something we need. I think the guys that have returned, like Tyler Patterson and Patrick McMahon, Sam Lakalad, Jed Miller, they brought a lot of consistency and they bring a lot of shooting and skill to their position groups. And then with our front court, I've just been pleased with kind of the different styles that each of those guys bring to the table. Brandon Walker is a very unique front court player with his ability to handle the basketball at his size. John Olmstead gives us rim protection and some skill on the perimeter. And then Sam and Chica are both kind of versatile guys that can play a lot of different positions and with a lot of different teammates.
You've had a fall now to experience Bobcat Nation, football, volleyball games, and all that. So what do you think so far? How excited are you to play in front of this fan base?
Super excited. I think it was one of the things that attracted myself and our family to this opportunity. Just the momentum that's been building behind Bobcat athletics, and to see the fan support, the way we've been welcomed into the community has been terrific. And so we're excited to show all that we've been working on in the last 6 months and rally this community behind this group of guys, because I think it's a group that they'll be really proud to support.
What's your philosophy when it comes to coaching?
Well, I think ultimately, I got into coaching to give back, to be a part of something bigger than myself. Obviously, I'm now in a position of leadership where I can kind of instill the virtues and the lessons that I've learned over 20 years at the college level. And so it's really fun for me to get to create that environment. And I think the biggest thing that we've tried to emphasize as we took over is just what our core values are and what we want to be known for and what that looks like on and off the court, and finding recruits and new players during this transition that fit those things.
You haven't played a game yet. It's hard to identify. What do you believe the identity of this team will be?
Well, I think the collectiveness of our offensive and defensive philosophy will be one of our biggest strengths. I think we have a team that can shoot the basketball and can share the basketball because of that. And so I think you'll see a very connected group that plays the game the right way, whatever that means these days. But it fits our personnel. We've got a great balance in terms of our ability to attack the paint through penetration, through the post, but still stretching that floor and spacing the floor from the three-point line. So it'll be a different style than what you saw from the Bobcats last year, but it fits this group well, and they've taken to it seamlessly, and I think they're excited about the opportunities that gives them on the floor, both individually and as a group, to be successful.
You specified what kind of is the offensive plan, I guess. Are you guys a spread out team? I mean, you said there a little bit of both, but is there any kind of specific type of offense you're trying to run?
I think the one thing that is maybe a little bit different in my philosophy than some others is, there's teams that run plays to get shots or get the ball to a certain person at a certain point in time. I believe that oftentimes those things lead to advantages, and it's our job as coaches to teach how to play out of advantage. So, whether that advantage comes in transition or it comes off of a ball screen or it comes off of a post entry, our guys have been taught, conceptually how to attack those advantages and use each other's strengths to their advantage. And so I'm excited to see it on the floor. We've done a good job in our preseason scrimmages of kind of executing those things, and being able to see that blueprint live has been really exciting.
And then defensively, man, zone, mix, Do you have a specific plan so far?
Yeah, definitely a mix. I mean, I'm more of a man-to-man guy. We really pride ourselves on our preparation and understanding, where teams are trying to attack. And at the same token, you can't be changing your stripes every single time you step on the court. And so our guys know exactly, what our emphases are, where we want to make guys shoot from on the floor, where we want the basketball to go on the floor from a defensive standpoint. And then obviously you've got to protect the paint and rebound the basketball so you can get out and transition and play offensively the way we'd like to.
You mentioned Eddie. I mean, I think he said his last full season was senior year of high school or something like that. He hasn't played in forever because of a whole bunch of issues. I mean, I guess what's his resilience been like, and just how good does he look right now?
Yeah, Eddie's got a great story. I mean, he's a young man that created an opportunity for himself to get an Ivy League degree at Columbia while pursuing, his basketball dreams. And a lot of injury and a lot of adversity, kind of slowed those things down on the hardwood. But he stuck with it, and he got his degree. Still has 2 years to make an impact and see those dreams come true on the court, and he's prepared himself for that. So now that he's healthy, he's in a new environment. It's been fun to see him smiling again and playing the game he loves, and he's made our team better. And so, it's been fun to see that. I think Rob Ford has a very unique path and story in that same regard. And so I think one of the things you'll see about this group is they've got a chip on their shoulder, and it might not be perfect early on, but they're going to be very, very gritty and tough and connected. And, I think that comes, a little bit, I hope, as a byproduct of my journey as well. I'm a guy that's come up through the ranks, and kind of been a small college guy. And so, we all now have the opportunity in a little bigger stage to put our dreams to reality.
Looking at the non-conference schedule, what excites you about that? How many different challenges are you guys going to have, and just kind of the overall picture of that?
I think we've got a great non-conference schedule for this group. We've got an opportunity to play a couple early season games in the Pacific Northwest, in Seattle, at Seattle U next weekend, obviously, and then later on at the University of Washington. We travel down to Cal and play a Pac-12 opponent, and then have a number of home games that have been, a little bit hard to achieve over the course of time. And so having 8 non-conference home games, I think is really important for this group to gel, to create that connection to our fan base and to our community, and give them a chance to grow with this group. And hopefully that gives us enough, not only tests and adversity during the non-conference, but also confidence and connection. So when we get to Big Sky play, we really have a clear picture of who we are, where we are, how we need to get better, and can attack January and February, hopefully with that same championship mindset that we're used to.
Yeah, how has this team gelled and meshed so far together, with it being new faces and whatnot?
I think it's been really good. We've got a group of guys that all have a chip on their shoulder. And so early on, there was a lot of competition, a lot of, internal figuring out kind of, what people do well and how to make each other better and how that makes the team better. But the one thing that we haven't had to fight at all is any sort of, selfishness or, unwillingness to play the right way. And so that's made our job as coaches really, really easy, to just teach concepts, to show, what Eddie does well and how that complements Tyler, and how what Tyler does well complements our interior play, so on and so forth. And so I think they see great value in each other, and that's going to make us ultimately a stronger team.